Hi there, Nat from Dietary Restriction Kitchen. You know what? It's been a while. I haven't been doing a lot with my Dietary Restriction Kitchen YouTube channel for quite some time, but I'm back and I'm more determined than ever to bring you some new videos and some new recipes. And today we're going to do something a little different. Now, normally on Dietary Restriction Kitchen, I like to showcase recipes that I've come up with and that I know that work is already tested and know it's going to work. Today I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to try a recipe on camera for the first time. Now, this is a recipe for a roasted eggplant dish that I saw actually on YouTube. It's just a short little video that I saw, and it looked like a good way to do a traditional eggplant. And so I thought, okay, let's give that a shot. And so I haven't tried to cook eggplant in years, except for the Asian ones, you know, the longer, skinnier, lighter colored ones. So this is going to be new for me. We're going to see if it works out, and let's give it a shot. So let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our eggplant. And I've already cleaned it, like washed it on the outside. So I'm going to chop off the top here where we have the greenery. So we get that chopped off. And then what we're going to do is split that. And I'm going to cut off the very bottom as well. So it just gives us that. So we're going to get rid of that right now. And then we're going to cut it in half lengthwise. Now, and I did not save the YouTube channel that I was doing. You know, like I didn't save it to bookmarks or anything. I just watched it once. So I'm just doing this basically in how I saw it one time. So let's see if I can remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to score the inside of the halves in a crosswise motion. So we're going to do that, sort of the inside, like diagonally in a crisscross motion like that. So we have the crisscrosses like this. So let's do that on the other one as well. I'm taking a smaller knife to do this particular action here. So you want to get down quite far with that. Make sure I'm down quite far with this, almost down to the skin. I don't want to like take it apart. I don't want to like actually make slices out of it, but like that, like that. Okay, so now we're going to go crosswise the other way. So it's going to make sort of like cubes, like a cubed effect, but like kind of diagonal. So almost like making diamonds, I guess is the way to put that. So we're going to do it the same thing on this one. On this half as well. Watch my fingers here at the end. There we go. So, and then we can see we separate it out a little bit so you can see that it separates out, because what we're going to want to do is let that air get in and the other things that we're going to be doing get in there. So what we're going to do now is get a pan. So I have a cookie sheet with some paper on there. So some oven safe paper. We'll have it like that. The two halves like that. Now we're going to get a little bit of olive oil. So there's my extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to put a little bit on there. I'm going to drizzle a bit on here. Now if you got one of those bottles where you can, okay, hold on a second. Set that aside. If you got one of those bottles that, you know, you can squeeze it or it squirts or whatever, then great. Okay, that's just soaking in really a lot on that one spot. Okay. Not what I wanted to have happen, but yeah, because it's going to just pool here on the, you know, like wherever you had it. It's good. So I'm going to set that down really quickly there and just brush it as best I can. And so like I say, it's the first time I'm doing this. I just saw this once and I didn't write it down. I didn't write the steps down. So I'm gonna try to do this best for my memory, like, is that sometimes how you cook, right? You don't just know. Okay, so like you don't have it all sussed out. You're just kind of trying things out. And now some sea salt. So like that, and then we're gonna sprinkle some of that on there. All right, then I'm going to adjust my camera here a little bit, because here I am. See, now you can see me. Now I'm really bright here because I've done this, but look, I'm going to turn that down. And then now we've got them. I'm going to put them in the oven. Okay, and they go in the oven for, I believe, 20 to 30 minutes. So about 30 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit in the oven. So that's this next step. Okay, so I was cutting some onion. For this, I think of just a half of an onion will work out fine. So I'm just going to cut the onion. Now you may notice I got my cutting board and I got something on top of my cutting board. And that is a little bit of parchment paper. So I've got the parchment paper on here. And that is a little trick I have sometimes when I'm cutting onion, to save my cutting board from some of the smells associated with onion. So that's something we're doing here. I'm just going to set those onions aside. So they're on that, still on the parchment paper. So I've kind of more or less saved that from too much stinkiness. And now I've got some tomatoes here. Then these are leftover little grape tomatoes I had in the fridge that kind of going, they're a little wrinkly a little bit. They're not bad, but they're kind of going wrinkly. So I thought I'd use that. In the recipe that was on YouTube, they use canned tomatoes, but I'm using that. And plus some chopped up tomato I had left over from taco night last night in my family. So got that. And I'm going to use that rather than using canned tomatoes. So we're going to try to get, I had done them in the pan there because I thought maybe I could get the skins off. Oh, here we go. Because sometimes, especially with these little grape tomatoes, the skins will kind of go weird. So while I'm chopping these, the skins are coming off a little bit, like they're easy to come off because I blanched them a little bit off camera. So yeah, I'm just going to chop these up a little bit, and then with my fingers I'm just pulling those skins off, like right over here, and piling them up on the side here. So we're going to do that. I'll finish up that, and then we're going to put a little sauce together. So it's kind of like a topping sauce for those eggplants after they have finished baking for 30 minutes in the oven. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the little sauce on the stove. And I've just turned the heat on underneath my little frying pan here. It's an oldie but a goodie, that one. And then we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in there, quite a bit actually. So we get a good generous dollop of olive oil in there. Okay, I'm going to spread it around here a little bit. I'm going to need to get some kind of spoon or something. I like my long-handled spoon, so we're gonna use one of those today. Now let me. Is he in the way though? He is kind of in my way. Okay. So we're going to get that to warm up a little bit, and then we're going to get the onion in it first. Now, in the recipe, they were calling for some garlic to be cut up as well. I don't have any fresh garlic in my house right now. I know. What kind of cook am I without fresh garlic in my house? But I don't have any fresh garlic right now, so I'm just going to use a little bit of garlic powder and some other seasoning. So sometimes you got to use what you got, right? So okay, so let me get that onion in there. So it's still on the parchment paper, and I'm going to flick that on there. Here, let me get rid of that. There we go. There we go. It was being a little bit slow here, so there we go. Get that cooked up. Okay, so we're getting that going really well. I turned down the heat a little bit. So now I'm going to, there's a little bit, I want it to get done a little bit more, just to go a little bit more translucent, those onions. Now, that's a rough chop on those onions, to be sure. I'm not the greatest at chopping onions. But anyway, it'll do. For this, it'll do. Okay. So we're going to put in those chopped up little grape tomatoes. We're going to put that in. I'll turn it down a little bit more, I think. Put that in. I'm going to put in those tomatoes from taco night. Okay. Put them in too. Now they do have skins on them, so hopefully we're not going to have too much. So hopefully we're not going to have too much skins on those. And then the other thing I've got, we're going to put on, because like I said, I don't have any fresh garlic. I'm going to put some garlic powder in here. Probably close to a teaspoon of that. Okay, we're going to simmer that. Another thing I have that I had some leftovers was a bit of pizza sauce. So here I'm going to have that leftover pizza sauce in my fridge. So I'm going to just put that in there too. So I am kind of deviating from the recipe that was on YouTube, but yeah. And one of my favorites is oregano. I know a lot of people are partial to basil. Oregano is sort of my thing, more than basil. So we're going to just get that done. I'm going to turn that right down. And we're just going to leave it warm. Here, I'm going to a little bit more heat than that. So we're going to let that simmer a little bit. And then we'll do the next step. Okay, so this is our sauce done. The one thing I did forget to do was to put in a bit of salt and pepper in here. Okay, like really, I just remembered that. So I'm going to just shake a little bit of the sea salt in there. And also some pepper. So I'm going to just grind a little bit of pepper in there. So we're going to just add that to it. Mix it up. Okay, in the meantime, my eggplant is done in the oven. So we're going to show you what that looks like. There it is there. So you can see where it's separated itself out. It's roasted. So here's the next step. And right now it looks a little bit ugly, doesn't it? Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put some of the sauce on the eggplant. So I want to make sure I got enough for both. So I'm spooning it over the eggplant, the two halves of the eggplant. So we're doing that. It actually smells pretty good. It smells lovely in here. This is quite a bit of onion. So, I mean, you could adjust the onion to tomato ratio. You could put a lot of garlic. If you wanted to make this spicy, I guess you could add some jalapenos peppers to this. Well, obviously this has nightshades in it. It has tomatoes. So if you're nightshade free, this is really not a recipe going to work, but we are going to make this dairy free. Like in the recipe, they put mozzarella cheese on the top and some Parmesan. No, it wasn't mozzarella. Why am I thinking that? They put feta and Parmesan on the top. We're not going to do that because I have to be dairy free and wouldn't be dietary restriction kitchen if I put stuff that had dairy in it. What I'm going to use is a dairy free feta cheese. I love this stuff. I buy this all the time. I put it on pizza. Like when I have to do a dairy free, gluten free pizza, that's what I use. So it's like that. We're going to just take some and put some on the top. You can be as generous or as stingy with this as you want. They were really generous with this in well, they didn't use this. They used real feta. The person on the video used real feta. I love feta. I mean, I miss real cheese. I've said it before and I'll say it again. So I'm going to probably use most of the rest of this package of my, what I call fake feta. Just loving, I lovingly call it that though. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but yeah. So there we got that. So kind of very covered up with the fake feta, the dairy-free feta. And so what we're going to do is put this back in the oven for 10 more minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to watch it, but at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10. Okay, and so I just taken this out of the oven. I gave it, actually it turns out 5 minutes plus I added another 3 minutes. So that's what we have there. On the recipe on when they were doing it on YouTube, they put some fresh basil leaves on it to serve it that way. So you would just serve as a half and serve as a half, and then you could just scoop out. So what I'm going to do, like I say, I don't have any fresh basil in the house either. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit of summer savory on the top there. Like, just give it a little bit of greenery on the top. If you like, if you've got basil, that works. If you're a basil fan, you can use that. I just thought it's the greenest thing I have in my house right now. And so then we're going to try this out. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Let me move for just slightly here. Move you over, buddy. Okay. Get my plate in here. And then we'll see. Oh, my stomach is grumbling because it smells amazing. Okay. I'm not even kidding. And so do this. It's like, oh my gosh, that looks really good. Hey, that doesn't look bad at all. So we get a little hunk of this out of here and try some. So that's what it looks like. So I'm going to give it a taste. So this is what it looks like. Here, I'll hold it up. So it's a bit of a mishmash, but it smells amazing. It smells so good. I can't even. I'm like, my stomach is grumbling like crazy. I'm going to give it a try. So the pieces come off really easy, the cubes or the little diamonds we made. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh my goodness, that's good. So what I think this could really work well for is if you made some gluten-free pasta, like something like a fusilli or penne or something like that, or macaroni noodles or whatever that are gluten-free, and then you made this as a sauce to go over that pasta. Oh my gosh, it'd be so good. Definitely, I like it. I really, really do. Wow. So I'm giving this a thumbs up. We tried it first time. Excuse me. Tried this first time on Dietary Restriction Kitchen for roasted eggplant, traditional eggplant roasted in the oven with tomato sauce and some dairy-free feta, what I call fake feta. Works wonderfully. I give it 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. So we'll see you next time here at the Dietary Restriction Kitchen. Thanks for watching.